Advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. I want to give you a few ways that you can protect yourself as an investor using different types of orders. When I say orders, I mean the different ways that you can buy or sell a stock. Most of us go and do what's called a market order, which, and I'll draw this out on the whiteboard. Y'all know my handwriting is not perfect, but that means you just buy at whatever price and you just sell at whatever price. But there are different types of orders that you can use that can help protect yourself. So I'm going to go over the main four, or really you could say five, the main five, when to use them, how I like to use them. Not everybody is going to use them, but I want to go through and walk you through that. Also, I want to correct the record. You can do this on public. I did not know this. Someone had pointed out it is a little hidden. I took some screenshots. I posted it on yesterday's video. If you guys ask, I'll post on this video, and I will probably put something in my stories on Instagram so you can see what it looks like. But there's a little tiny button and it'll bring up all the order types. I'm really excited because I did not know that was there. All right, so I've got some notes here, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything and walk you through this and show you again in what scenarios do I use this, why would someone use this, and how it can protect you. So right now, as I get ready to share the screen, make sure that you go ahead and hit the share button now, because this could have helped you if you were in something like AMC, if you were in something like Tilray last week, GameStop, or just anything that you're into and you're trading, you're kind of, you want to get in and get out, or you want to sleep a little bit easier at night and say, look, I got this thing out there. If it drops, I'm gonna be good. I've locked in an estimated profit. For example, I'm in a trade right now. It's gonna take me a few weeks. I think it's JP Morgan. And if JP Morgan drops below, I think it's $130, $139, like 75 cents. If it drops below that, I sell out. I think it's 85 cents. I drop below that, I lose 85 cents a share for like 8 or 9 shares. No big deal. But if it goes up to a certain point, I think for me, it's $148 or so. Then I cash out. It automatically does that for me. So the great thing for me as an investor, number one, I don't have to worry. Number two, I don't need to check my account every day. I'll get an alert if it's sold, good or bad. So when I'm up in the morning feeding the kids, if I'm in meetings, I'm teaching classes all day, I don't have time to be glued to my phone. I know it's a quality company, but I'm using it to get a very specific profit margin and do what I need to do with my money. So I want to teach you just a little bit of the beginning processes of this and how it works. All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen. You should have hit the share button. I stalled enough, so I know you had time to hit the share button. I think we had 5 yesterday. I would love to get to 10 today. All right, so here we go. So at the base level, so this kind of like has levels to it. Same thing with most investments. All right, so the first one and the most common is what's called a market order. There we go. Sorry, y'all. So the first one's called a market order. A market order is you get the price at what it is right now. So whether you buy or sell, it is at the current price. And this is what I would say close to, I don't know, 90, 85, 90% of investors do this. So if I look at my phone right now and I'm making these prices up, Walmart's at $10 right now. You hit between the hit time you hit buy and the time that order fills, it could go up to $12 or something like that. But what you do is you're getting at whatever price it is right now on the market. The good thing about market orders is it guarantees you to get that stock. Limit orders, on the other hand, don't always do that, and I'll explain why in a second. But if it's something I know I'm gonna get into, I know I'm gonna hold it for a long term, I'm gonna just get a market order. If I know for a fact I want this stock and I don't really care at what price I get it, I'm using a market order. So I would say this is for long-term investors, long-term, not volatile. So I'm just gonna put not crazy. And what else? I mean, this is pretty much it. So if I know, let's say Google, right? I think it's a great company. Netflix. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I need to get into it at a specific price. I'm getting in it. I'm gonna stay in it. I'm going to be good, right? It really doesn't matter what price I get in, because I believe that 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to be better off for it. Think of it like Amazon. I got in way too late, but if I got in at 2,500, 2,800, what difference does it make? It's at, it's above 3,000 now. I've made money. Also, I would say not trading. And we did a video on trading versus investing. Basically, it's long-term versus short-term. So again, if I'm holding this for a while, I'm putting in money every week or every month. This gonna go up over time. I don't have to get this at exactly $10.05, because the difference is not gonna matter, because I'm holding it for the long term. So this is who this is for. Who this is for. So long-term investors, a stock that's not crazy. So it's not one that's popping 30, 40, or 50% overnight. It's something that's normal, that's modest, that's usually probably in the S&P 500. It's companies we all have known of and heard of before. And I'm not trading. I'm in this for the long term, even for the short term. If I'm holding it for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, I know I'm gonna stick around. That's what a market order is for. And I can do when you buy and sell, for most investing apps, not all, for most of them, that's the default. You're just gonna buy it and sell it at whatever price it is right now. Advantage is you're going to get the stock. Disadvantage is you always don't know at what profit. If you're sitting there and studying and you're like, yeah, I want to do this, and then you wait 5 minutes or you're distracted for however long, the price could swing. But again, that's why I say not crazy, because normal stocks, things that aren't penny stocks, things that aren't shady, aren't going to jump up by 1,000% between the time you use the bathroom and come back. That happens for like an AMC or GameStop, but not for a normal stock. So that's who that's for. So that's market order. Now the next one is a limit order, and there are 4 types of limit orders. Not all of them are needed at all times. I'll give you the pros and cons of each one, but there are 4 types of limit order. So market order, you get it now. You either buy it now or sell it now. A limit order says you will buy or sell if these things occur. So I'll do these one by one, give you the advantages and kind of who it's for. So I'll write this down too. Who is this for? Right? It's not gonna line up. Y'all know what it is. All right, so, and I don't know, I've moved my screen. I don't know if you guys can see it or if my face is in the way. Hopefully not. All right, so who's this for? So the first one is a buy limit. And I'll try and draw kind of what this looks like. So a buy limit says that you are going to buy a stock at a certain price or below. So for example, I want to make sure I only got $10 to spend, for example, right? I don't want to spend $11. I don't want to spend $12. I want to spend $10. And when this stock comes down to $10, excuse me, that's exactly when I want to buy it. And if it doesn't hit $10, I'm not buying the stock, because I want to get it at a specific price. So for example, you are buying it at or below a certain price. I feel like the marker is too thick and you can't really see all the letters. Oh well. So it's at or below a certain price, and basically, a stock is coming down, and that's when you buy. So for example, again, I know that I want to get something at a specific price. I don't want to pay too much for it. So when the stock comes down on a limit order, it says once it hits right around $10, you're going to get it at $10 or better, which in your case, you always want to buy low and sell high, right? So it's going to try and get you in at $10, which is what you would have set that limit for, or it can get you at $9.99 or $9.95. However, there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that you're going to get at that price, because a stock can come down and get close to $10 and then just go do whatever it's going to do. So that's the disadvantage of a buy limit order. Who is this for? And maybe I'm just going to scoot this over and I'm just say who instead of having a whole entire sentence. Who? There you go. All right, so who's this for? This is mainly for trading. I can also say this is for someone who's on a budget and someone who doesn't really need the stock. doesn't need the stock. That doesn't spell stock at all. Okay. So what I mean by that is, for example, for Netflix, it's a company I like, I've been investing in for a while. I'm not going to have a limit order because I want it now. I don't want to wait for a specific price. And if I don't get it, then I just don't get it. That's the danger or the downside of a limit order. But if I know I only have this set amount that I'm going to put into the stock, it's $10, it's $2,000, whatever it is, that means I can easily say, set the limit for $20 per share for 10 shares or 20 shares or whatever. And if it hits that price, it's going to get you right around that. And you're pretty much guaranteeing that you're not going to overspend. You're not going to spend more than $20 a share. You're not going to spend more than $10 a share. Whatever it is, that helps protect you and say, I'm not going to spend more than what I designate. So if I'm trying to stick to a budget, or I know I'm only putting in a certain amount for that stock, this is a very, very good order for you. So this is called a buy limit. If y'all have questions, type them in and I'll answer those in the comments. All right, so that's a buy limit order. So the next one is a sell limit order. And this is one that I use. Sell limit and sell limit order. Okay, so this one is, it helps you to sell, obviously, right, at or above a certain price. I need to come up with a better, some shorter words for that. So basically, at or above a certain price. So is what it's saying is, let's say a stock goes up, and right here is when I want to sell for that company. So for example, in real life, I'm in a trade for JP Morgan. If it hits 148, 149, whatever price I set, that's when it's going to sell. Now, the downside is, if it doesn't get there, then I'm just going to be holding on to this stock until it hits there, or until it goes down to my other side of the limit order and it breaks, and we'll get to that part later, but it's going to hit a stop. But this says, look, I'm making sure that I'm going to get my profit out of this. So this is for people who, I would say, again, all the limit orders are pretty much for traders, but I would say trading. I added that for the first one. So traders, trading, you know your profit or know your exit. So I know I want to make X amount from this. So I'm going to say, sell it at $100, sell all my shares, 10 shares, whatever it is, at $100 or better, right? So sometimes stocks, when they move, they don't go $1 at a time every single time. They can just flash from 100 to 120, 100 to 105. So it's going to get you right there or better. So in this case, I know I want to sell. I can set my sell limit order, and I can sit back and say, look, I bought this at $10, whether it was a market or what have you, it's automatically going to sell right at $15 or better. You'll get an alert. I did this for, I think I told you guys for AMC, I put in my stops and my limits, and I made a decent little profit, but I didn't have to get in there and do it myself. It sold when I told it to sell, which is at that specific price. So you know your exit, you're trading. That's pretty much it. I wouldn't really say this for long-term investors because, again, I would say also, well, trading is getting in and getting out. Because, again, Amazon, when I got it at $2,500 a share, whatever it was, I didn't really think it was going to get to 3,000. So the disadvantage is, I got in at 25, sell at 3,000, but now it's at 3,300. And then whenever it could be at 3,500, was like, well, shoot, I don't have to come back and then buy it for more when I just had it. So that's the disadvantage there. That's why I say it's more for traders. If you're looking to get in and get out of certain stocks at certain times, and you want to kind of lock in that profit, this is what you want to use it for. I do not think it is best for long-term investors. All right. Let's move to the next one. So you've got your buy limit, your sell limit, and now you have your buy stop. Buy stop. And then you have your sell stop. So I'll have that down here too. All right, so a buy stop is they're pretty much similar. You're going to buy, but there's a certain trigger. There's a certain stopping point where it says, this is your alert, and it's going to buy at whatever price is going to happen after that. So really you're going to buy at or above. It's really at a certain price, but there's a key difference. And it's really an illustration at a price. I think actually at a price is a little more accurate. And this is what happens. So it's at or above, right? So I'm buying it. Let's say again, I want to buy it at $10. And what will happen with a stop order, the key is this. Once it hits above $10, right, it becomes a market order, which means that once it's triggers at $10, whatever price is next, or if that price is next itself, that's when it's going to buy into that stop, which is great if that's what I want to do. The problem is, well, what if it, it triggers at 10, now we're getting at a market, whatever the next price is, and then it dips down. Well, if you're trying to buy it, you're probably fine, right? Or it starts at 10 and say, okay, we're in a market order now, whatever the next price is, what we're going to get it at, and then it shoots up and now it's 20. That's a risk you take with a buy stop order. However, you still get to get in to the stock that you want to get into, provided that it hits that level. If it does not hit $10, then there's nothing you do. You really just kind of sit and wait. So this is for traders. That's going to be the same for all of these. It's actually an order I don't use. I don't use it at all. When I know I want to get into something, I get into it. I do use limit orders, buy limit orders from time to time. But again, I'm a little more arrogant. When I want it right then. I don't want to have to sit here and wait when I'm trying to buy. And when I'm trying to sell, then I have different stuff in place. So more for trading, not super budget conscious. Add that, not budget. I'm just leave it. So not budget conscious. I don't want to butcher the word and with this pen. So not necessarily budget conscious, because it could, again, if you're trying to spend $10 a share exactly or better, then that's your limit order. But with a stop, it could, you don't know. Once it hits $10, it's fair game. It could be literally anything. So that's the disadvantage there. So it's not really budget friendly. Maybe that's the word I'll add. And I'll say maybe. Because again, it could hit 10 and then drop, and then you're going to get it at whatever that drop price was. So that's the pros and cons there. Again, for trading, you get to sit back and say, look, if Tesla ever goes up and hits this specific number, that's what I'm getting in at whatever price it hits after that. Because I think in my mind, if it hits $10, then it's going to the moon, or whatever people are saying these days. So that's how that one works. And then the last one is a sell stop. So this is, and let me plug my computer in before it dies. That's not great. So sell stop, and I'll go quickly. Sell stop is at or below a price, and these are prices that you set. You get to pick whatever price it is that you want to do this at. So what I'm doing in this case is I want to sell at a certain spot. So this is what I do use for my trading. For example, you could say AMC, you could say Tilray. Remember I told you about Tilray? I had a $60 profit when I went to sleep. I woke up 9:33 in the morning. I only had a $6 profit, but thank God I got out, right? So I said, you sell Tilray if it hits whatever price I had it down, $20 or whatever, right? That's what a sell stop does. Now, the other part of it is, because the stop order is going to trigger at a certain point, whatever that point is, and we'll just say, I'm just going to say $20. The stock, whatever stock it is, if it falls to 20, you sell it at whatever price you can get. Whatever the next price is, you get me out of this stock. This helps to protect me. This is for traders. You can say this is for stocks I don't trust. Don't trust. And again, this is not for long-term investors, because think about it. Again, I talk about Nike all the time. It's probably the best example I have. I bought it for my son around 100, then it dropped to 80, then it dropped to 65, and then it shot up and it was at 142 last time we talked about it. Well, if I had a sell stop at a certain point, then I would have sold out at 80, and just waited and waited and waited until it came all the way back to 100 or whatever price again, and then got back in, instead of buying it when it was super cheap at 65, buying it when it was super cheap at 80, and then seeing my stock go from 65 to 142. That's, again, really not for long term in my view. Some people use it for long term, and you can protect yourself when the market falls, and that's fine. You use any of these in the way that you want to use them. This is just my interpretation of how I personally use these. So the ones I use, and we had talked about this, I use a sell stop. Clearly, I use market order the most. Sometimes I definitely use a sell limit. Sometimes I use a buy limit. I've never used a buy stop in my life. That don't mean it's not important. I just personally have not used it. So what I do when you guys see me on public and I'm buying every month or I'm buying really every week, those are always market orders because I want to get in right now. I really don't care what the price is. You guys know the process. I'm holding it for 6 months. In most cases, the stock is good. I'm holding it for a year. So what, right? So I'm getting in every single week with my market orders. When I am trading, I use primarily, I use the sell limit here, and I use the sell stop. And we had talked about combining, it's called a bracket order. Now, I don't know where you can do all these bracket orders. I know for a fact you cannot do it at Robinhood. My friend and I got together and tried to do one, and that's actually a function they don't have yet. I do this at TD Ameritrade. This is more for advanced trading people. If you're inside the Investors Toolkit, you're going to get an update here pretty soon to learn a lot more about this. That link will be above. So what this does, and we had talked about this before, is I got a stock and I have my sell limit. So if it hits a certain price, it sells me out, I'm good. Or if it drops below a certain point, sell stop, or also known as a stop loss, then I'm going to be getting. This is exactly what I'm doing with JP Morgan right now. If it drops below whatever price I set it at, I'm good. It sells me out. I lose a very, very small amount, or really close to a small amount. Or if it shoots up, then I know right around what my profit is going to be. So that's how I do it. All right. So those are the 4, or really 5, different types of orders that you can use to protect yourself. So if I got a certain budget and I don't want to spend a whole lot, I can say, look, I want to buy this stock at this price, and that's it. It's going to help you do that. If you're trying to sell a stock you don't necessarily trust like that, or you're trying to trade, then you may want to do a stop loss or a sell stop. The same thing. I set it at this price. If you ever get close to this, or you get to that spot and anywhere around there is going to sell me out, I'm going to lose very little, or I can lock in a specific gain. If I got in at 10, I keep just using 10, just easy math. I got in at 10, it moves up to 20. I can say, look, put a stop loss at 15. So I know I'm going to make $5 or very, very close to it. So I'm good, right? And that's kind of what you can do to protect yourself a bit. Long-term investors, which is primarily the vast majority of my money, I'm just doing market because I'm putting in money every week, every month on my schedule, and I'm holding for the long term. Especially, I don't do this for ETFs. The index funds, you just market order all day. There's no point in doing all the limit stuff. But for my trading, the money in a separate bucket that I get in and get out of, that's when I start to use those limit orders a lot more to help protect myself and my money. You can do this on public. I will drop that link somewhere. Most other big brokerages can do it. You can do it on Robinhood. You may not be able to do the brackets where you're doing 2 at the same time. That's really for advanced. You probably don't need all that just yet. All right, so that's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this was helpful because I had a few people asking me this. Again, you can do it on public. My mistake. I didn't even know that it was there. It's kind of hidden. And let me know if you guys did screenshots and I'll get those to you. All right, that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys later.